We have a new guest co-host joining us today. She's a mom, TV personality, and stand-up comedian. Everyone, give it up for our girl, Jess Hilarious. Welcome to the show and welcome to the Girl Chat table. Are you ready to keep it real all week, Jess?
You already know. I don't even know.
I've seen your video. Born.
Well, before we get started, it's good to see all the ladies back. We had a crazy weekend in Napa.
Yes, we did.
Yes,
fun. Loved it.
Tamara and Adam have been asking James and I and Munchkin and you two, Jeannie, to come up to Napa. So this weekend, James and I surprised Tamara at her tasting room this past Friday.
So
Munchkin and Israel were there too. It was such a great event. And you know what? Adrienne and Israel were celebrity pourers. They worked
you
the
guys
whole
killed it.
week.
Wow.
I
had so much fun.
Really? What was it like?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. If this don't work out for me, I'm coming to work at the tasting.
I would love to hire you.
Time.
I would love to hire you. You're amazing.
I wasn't invited.
Thank you.
So
Okay, you have to come. We're gonna do it again.
It was a total surprise because I'm working on a project. I have a deadline, and I told them, I said, I just can't make it.
She text messaged me and specifically said, I actually won't be able to make it. So when she walked in, I was like, you lied to me. But then again, it was all part of a surprise.
You can see it on IG.
I just want to say thank you, ladies, so much for coming up there. I think it's so beautiful, and as Adrienne says, dope, when you see women uplifting and supporting each other. So I appreciate that.
You walk in there and feel like family, man.
Somebody else couldn't be there. Tell us why she wasn't there.
Wow.
Jeannie.
We had a great time. Again, thanks to Adam. And you guys, if you haven't checked out Housley Napa, you got to check out the tasting rooms in downtown. Amazing. But like Loni was saying, we weren't the only ones having a fun weekend. Jeannie, we missed you because you were celebrating Jeezy's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So how was that? Where did you guys go?
It was so much fun. We celebrated his 42nd birthday. He's a Libra, ladies. I don't know why I said that. I don't even know what that means. We went to Mexico. We went to Riviera Maya, and it was something short because, you know, we got to be here back at work. And what I really love is, I think after you turn 40, both of us experiencing this, and you know about this, you just enjoy the present. You start to reflect on everything that you rushed through, and of course, you know, with his career, he had to do so much to keep on the ball to get to where he is, and then now he's like taking a break and just being able to be in the moment, and I love being a part of that. So
That's
beautiful. Yes. I love it.
You actually planned this whole weekend getaway for him, and I think that's so dope about you, Jeannie. You're like very, very thoughtful. So she was like researching like what would be fun.
Yes, and I like a man who knows how to play. He's adventurous like me, so he's down for anything.
He loves to travel too.
Let's get into some girl chat because we've done caught up on everybody's weekend.
Well, someone else who made the rounds this weekend is former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, who recently did an interview with People where she discussed current presidential candidate Joe Biden. Clinton was specifically asked if she thought female voters would be less enthusiastic about the former vice pres being the Democratic nominee, given his recent behavior around women. Specifically, him doing things like touching their back, kissing them on the head, and calling them sweetheart. Well, Hillary was quick to defend Biden, saying in part, I don't think that the Twitterverse is the American electorate. If you could take any person who says, I'm going to run for president, and find a little annoying habit of other kind of behavior that other people are going to pick apart and disagree with. So ladies, I want to ask you, do you agree that Biden's behavior is pretty innocent, or is it something that would bother you?
I mean, for me, I would say times have changed. I mean, calling me sweetheart, okay, that's cute. How you doing? Thank you. Rubbing my back. All right, that's something that I could tame. I could tame you from doing that. You look, don't touch me. That's it. I give you a warning, and you keep doing it. Brother, please. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like that's tameable. There are other things that are unexcusable, you know what I'm saying?
Like
but just
what?
calling me smart, like, don't grab my vagina.
Yeah. Oh, I see where you're going. I was like one. Or your breast.
Yeah, grab them by that was unacceptable. I agree with that.
Yes.
I feel like I completely agree with what Hillary said in the sense of every single person you could find something that you could tear apart and that would bother you. My issue is that this has been spoken about multiple times, and if you don't change, that shows that you don't care about how other people feel.
Yeah.
And I think that for me is an issue that I get it. That may be his style, and he may be trying to be sweet. I grew up in church culture. Everybody's hugging and kissing each other and foreheads. Guys, in that video, I thought he was praying for her.
But then again, in church...
No, for real. Look, I thought he was like, and Lord Father God, we just asked that you would just be with her. But that's what it reminded me of.
Then again, in church, there's a certain hug. You can't just... hug all up on this.
And the moment it's uncomfortable and someone says, I'm uncomfortable, he should heed to that and say, I gotta change my ways because I'm making people uncomfortable. And I think as women, and I know this is hard, but it's a new time, it's a new dawn, it's a new age. I don't know why we keep saying that. But I feel like we need to speak up in the moment.
Right.
And a lot of us experience the moment, we get stuck, we freeze, and I get that. And then later on, we're like, that made me feel so uncomfortable. We need to feel strong enough to say in the moment, lean into me. Lean into, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That makes me uncomfortable in the moment. He needs to be made to feel uncomfortable too.
Hillary wished her husband would only kiss on the forehead.
Oh, Lord.
Lonnie went there.
Lord.
I think Joe Biden is an old school player. It's hard in this Me Too movement.
Oh my God.
It is hard.
It's hard for these old school players because they gotta adjust, and that's what it is.
ain't hard.
He used to
It
be
ain't hard.
well,
You can adjust. You can adjust. If you want to run for president,
he's
adjust.
70-some years old, and he's used to being a charmer. He's used to being a politician. People can evolve. Let the man evolve now. I mean, I don't think he's doing it on purpose.
I don't think so either, but he needs to evolve.
Yes, let the man evolve, but he has to do that himself. Once you hear a few times that it made somebody uncomfortable and it comes off differently, this is a very specific time right now where women need to be respected in their space.
He has said
So
that
needs
he
to know
realizes that. That's the whole thing. I'm saying he has realized it, and people can evolve. I'm just saying he's an old school player. How many of them old schools with them Bluetooths? You know, Jeff.
I know. They be walking down the street. Little tenderoni.
Not
They love it.
Exactly.
But at what point,
when was that video
that's not that old.
recorded? Was that recently?
That's this year.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying,
It was in this year.
this year. So I just think if you're going to change, like make a very instant change in that way, and I see him in videos and I see it being close. But you guys know me. I also am a close hugger, and I understand that now. And when you notice a man hug you and he knows,
And he keeps going.
yes, you know that part,
Like the hold.
Yeah.
the hold and
If
the
the girl
breath
is
and
going like this,
Yeah, like the girl in the video. She was like,
the
ew,
cue.
your breath.
pick up on the cue.
pick up on the body. Like, that's so obvious.
Yes.
Yeah, I think also
Sometimes they know too. I think
they know.
They
know that they're older and they
Dude,
can
they
get away
know.
with certain things.
Yes.
And sometimes this is their like
Yes.
last chance to
Yes,
like
girl.
flirt. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do agree with what Adrienne is saying. If you feel uncomfortable, just walk away. You know, just actually push them away. Say, you know, we're living in those times. Back then, I think we didn't want to appear to be rude.
Yeah.
But now you have the ability to say, leave me alone, player.
Correct.
You know,
If someone
that's
is making you uncomfortable, you have the right to make them feel uncomfortable in that moment.
well.
And sometimes that might be what makes them learn the lesson. Like,
Maybe.
oh, I felt embarrassed. That girl just like, I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
Sometimes you got to do it. That's what I'm saying. Ladies, speak up.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of candidates, if you had to vote for one of the best stand-up comedians of all time, I'm sure Eddie Murphy would be on the list.
Magic.
Yes.
It's awesome, for
And
sure.
Eddie, who is reportedly earning a whopping $70 million for an upcoming Netflix special, recently told the New York Times that, looking back, he actually regrets some of his jokes from his 80s stand-up movies. Eddie says that listening to his old jokes makes him cringe and said that at the time, he was just a guy trying to process a broken heart. Eddie says that he's a totally different guy and that right now, his kids are the center of his world, not him. So you know, Loni, I gotta ask you, do you think Eddie is delirious for apologizing for his raw comedy past?
Well, it kind of goes back to what this last topic was about people evolving.
Yeah.
And people change when you call them out, and times just have changed. It was funny because on Twitter, a lot of people were upset that he was apologizing because they felt like the jokes were funny. And, you know, and that was that. I mean, you being a comedian.
Comedy. Like, I feel like, all right, now, Eddie, don't be talking about, I apologize. I mean, on one end, okay, all right, cool, apologize or whatever. Because nowadays, they call stuff back from the past. You can say something, they call it back. Apologize for that sake, but that was funny. That's what you felt. I don't care if your heart was broken or not. look, player, you was
So
funny.
own his past.
Period. That was funny. I think you should own it, and you don't have to make. You don't have to relive that and make your jokes like they were, you know, when you were 15 and 16 or whatever. But still, you were Eddie Murphy. This is what comedy was. Comedy used to be limitless. That used to be like the vacation away from the corrupt world. You know what I'm saying? So the world is so sensitive now. Everything is under a microscope when it comes to comedy, when it comes to any and everything. That's why I love comedy.
Do you censor yourself,
Raw.
knowing what you know now?
Yeah.
Do you censor yourself in your jokes?
Look, on stage, no. Online,
Okay.
yes. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Online, it's two different worlds, you know what I'm saying?
But we've had to apologize for stuff that we've said.
We've had to, yes.
I mean, you and I both had to apologize
we've
for
had
stuff.
to.
And it's like, there's nothing wrong.
We've had to.
No, we're just gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
But we live and we learn. What I'm saying is, first of all, I don't know what he apologized, what jokes he
It
apologized
seems very
for.
specific to a broken heart, though.
Yeah, because that's not the
Very
homophobic
specific.
jokes
They ain't up
that he
talking about
did.
No, I
no
was
woman that
saying
broke his heart
raw.
in there. So
I
I
didn't-
was like, what
Yeah.
happened with
Right.
the broken heart? Then he was only like 16. I was like,
Right. So I'm like,
You
what
know?
is he? I don't know what jokes he's apologizing for. Plus, he has, to me, it's always been an equal opportunity offender. I mean, when he played Norbit, that big black woman, I was mad. I'm like, really? You know, but it was fun.
You said an equal opportunity offender.
Yeah, he is. He talk about everybody. He's done everything.
Yes.
He's played like, you know, we saw Coming to America when he was an old Jewish man and things like
Yeah.
that. So it's like, what are we going to get offended about?
Yeah.
And what are we going to laugh about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I also, from his quote, it made me think that he's evolved, and it made me think that he was just explaining that jokes came from a very different part of him because he wasn't happy. And it sounds like he's happy now, which I think, if anything, because I'm not a comedian, but we all can relate to being in different parts of your life where things might come out a little saltier and a little bitter, right?
The things we say, guys, we talk up here, and sometimes 2 weeks go by, and I'm like, why did I say that?
You're right.
No, literally,
Right.
like, you continue to evolve. I regret the conversation about the washing the hands.
Oh, yeah, because honestly, when you were at the tasting room, I thought about that.
I know.
I was like, she was pouring. What are
Adrienne
people
used
going
to
to
not wanna
think?
wash her hands
You
after
know?
that.
No, I
Did you
did
wash
not
your hands?
say that.
You did.
You ain't like to
I
wash
had
your
you go
hands
to the
after
sink
the
and
bath?
wash
I
your
did
hands.
wash
I
my
remember.
hands, but again,
Yes.
sometimes the small things you say can be blown out of proportion, people. Let me explain. I
That's
said
real, though.
specifically that if I woke up at the middle of the night, and I went to use the bathroom in my home, and I got back in my bed, I might not always wash my hands. If I'm that tired, I might just go to sleep.
Same sin, girl, same sin.
Okay, it might be the same
Hey,
thing, but people
Jess.
thought I don't wash my hands at all. Nobody said that. So literally, I've been in public restrooms.
Yes.
And I get out the stall, still adjusting my skirt. Before I even made it anywhere, there's a girl going, make sure you wash your hands. What? The door barely hit me in the back.
But I have a question.
watching.
I have a question, Adrienne.
I am not a sucia, people.
You are
okay?
now. I have a question. You are now educated and
Yes.
informed
She's
on washing
evolved.
your hands. You've evolved. So do you now wash your hands?
No, I still keep it real. And there are times. No,
What's that mean?
What does that mean?
No, so you
I
said you
absolutely
don't.
always wash my hands in a public
Okay.
restroom.
Oh, okay.
I
But
always
at
wash
home-
my hands during the day. If I am in a dead sleep and I just had to pee real quick, I may not always wash my hands before getting back in the bed. That's just the
And
truth.
that's okay. Israel, if he don't care about that,
He
then
don't
you're
care.
fine.
He don't care.
Oh, man.
He don't care.
The Eddie Murphy.
We got to take a break.
I'm gonna regret this conversation.